We are in the middle of upgrading our church network here, so I'm going to ask everybody that is on this side to please turn the Wi-Fi off on your cell phone, and please use cell technology so we don't overload the Wi-Fi system. If you're on this side, please stay on Wi-Fi so we don't overload the cell towers in the area. If you don't know how to do that, you've got a question, just raise your hand and I'll come help. Chances are pretty good if you don't know how to turn your Wi-Fi off, you're probably not on the church network anyway. So with that, I'll give it to Doug. Doug's going to give us an overview.
Okay, good. So we discussed the fact that this is new here as a total church management software. And the reason we did that was because some of the softwares we had and the things we're using were old and need to be upgraded. And so through some research, and I'll have you know, not by me, because I'm not a tech guy. The reason I'm up here speaking to you is because I'm not a tech guy. I can relate to you all. So, but some of the things it's going to be able to handle is it's going to be able to handle our financial side of it. It's able to handle groups. It's able to handle security. It's able to handle worship and all sorts of things, scheduling. You know, like being able to go onto a calendar and see what's going on and things like that. So it's going to make, for us, our life should be a little bit easier. And so that's some of the things that we're looking to do. Just so you know, though, we are not doing this all at once. We're going to phase these things in so that it gives us a chance to build our databases out and get things working. Our first phase that we're working on, to be honest, is our giving, kind of our financial and online giving. And the reason that's our first phase right now is because with the first of the year using our accountant, it's just a good time to say, okay, we're going to stop as of December 31, and we're going to merge over then into this new software on January 1. So that made more sense as we talked to our accountant about that. And so that's kind of the reason. Those are some of the things. And you'll see when you get into Churchtrac and Church Connect that you're going to find out about here in a little bit, you're going to find it very useful and easy to use, even to the point that you know, every week we have Dave Smith going around and taking attendance. We have the books that go through every week that we say from your right to your left. Or it will allow you, this software will allow you to actually hit the button and say that you that you're attending. And so you can do that not only for our worship services, but small groups, everything else. So there's a lot to it. But again, as we go through the phases, we'll do more of these sessions so we can kind of get everyone up to speed. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Adriana. She's going to get you started in just this first phase, which is getting the software or the application of Church Connect, show you how to get that on so that we can get to the giving portion. Then I will walk through the giving and give some explanation about that and what that looks like. And then also, if you have any questions, I don't think this is a good question and answer session to do that, but if you do, certainly come to me afterward, and I will go over and help you with anything I can. You can ask. Rick has some knowledge of it. He hasn't been in it as much, but Eric Butler has been doing a lot, so he has some knowledge on it. Some of the other deacons, and so just get with them, and we will help where we can, and if they don't know, they will direct you to the right person, which might be Adriana. So we'll give Adriana the mic, and she can get us to our next point.
Yes, so as he mentioned, with downloading the app, it'll be a lot easier to do attendance coming down the road, and for now, online giving. You can also do this in a browser on a computer if you want to, but obviously for here, we're working on the app. So the first step is if you open your camera and point it at this QR code, it's also in the bulletin on the back if you can't. This should be big enough, but if it isn't, on the back, you don't have to take a picture, but once you scan it, it should register, and then there should be a link that will show up. I'll give it a second here. But if any point you are not seeing what I'm saying you should be seeing, raise your hand and we'll have Rick or Doug come over and help you. I'll give you a second to scan the code.
And if you don't know how to scan the code, use your camera.
Should it open right into the link? Because that's what mine did.
Yep, that's perfect. All right, and then if you want to go to the next slide. So then, yep, you should see something pop up there. That's what you're going to want to click on if you didn't already. You can go ahead. So it should bring you to a screen that looks similar to this. I have the Apple and Android both pulled up. You're going to see a little button at the bottom, like an action or a share button, and it should prompt you, if this is your first time going to this link, it should prompt you with what to do, but you're going to want to hit that up arrow, or at the bottom on Androids typically, or Samsungs, you'll see it says Add Connect to Home Screen. So you should see that, and if you want to go to the next slide. And you're going to want to find the button, you might have to scroll, that says Add to Home Screen. All right, I think we're good if you want to go to the next one. So then it should prompt you another slide to say Add, or Add Automatically.
A quick show of hands, is everybody at this part already? Is anybody behind or?
Yes, iPhones will work.
The iPhone will be the top screen, and the Android will be the bottom. Do you need the QR code again, Alan? Can you go back to the QR code screen? And if it's not registering, maybe try the bulletin one too. That one's closer. Hey Doug, do we know the URL? I didn't. I know it's in the.
If you're on an iPhone, you have to open it in Safari. You can't open it up in another browser.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Well, no, it might be just.
Okay. So that's through Churchtrac. We can get that through Churchtrac.
You have to use Safari.
Let me get to Churchtrac, so that I can bring that up. Yep.
Thank you. I'll wait till you get every.
The particular feature on an iPhone where you add it to your home screen is a Safari feature. None of the other browsers have that. That's just a built-in security feature for iPhones. So again, if you're on an iPhone, you have to open up that QR code in Safari.
You know, another way to do it is on the giving.
I know that if you go to settings.
Scroll down.
So you're trying to put it general?
It should, like the Church Connect.
Right, that's what I'm trying to do. Because I know where it's at on like.
The desktop.
You did it by accident. You got it?
I should have mine. I know that when the other way you can do it. So if they go bring it up.
Do you want to?
Yep.
Well, let me see what this link is. It's .com something. If you need a website, here's the website you can go to, and this will help also to get to the app. So if you go to HBC Kentwood .churchtrac.com, and I know for sure if you hit /give, that will definitely take you there, but I think it'll do it regardless if you do .com. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where you can go. If the QR code isn't working, that'll bring you to the same page that we're going to go to. Is anybody still having issues? HBCKentwood.churchtrac.com.
And it's TRAC for Churchtrac.
Do you want to go to the slide that we left off at? I think it was the ad one. Perfect. So all of you should be able to go to your home screen of your phone, and you should see a little icon that'll say connect, and I believe the church logo should show up on that icon. It does. Perfect. So if you all see that, then you're going to want to open that app, so click on that. And this is what you should see when you first open the app. Everybody seeing that? Perfect. So then if we want to go to the next one, you're going to hit that sign in button at the top, and it'll prompt you to create a login. So you're going to have to create your own login with the email address that you use. We should have it in Churchtrac with your files and whatnot, so it should connect. So I'll give you a minute to do that. And then I'll watch the email if we get any weird ones. New registration.
Make sure you check junk mail, 'cause I went into junk mail.
Yeah.
Yep, whatever password you'll remember for your personal.
Because you'll use a login when you're connected. Yes. And just so that you're aware, we have found some of these anomalies where even though we have all your information, it's still going to request, sometimes we've had to have people sign up as a new user, and then it goes to Adriana, and then she fixes it. So
Yep.
don't worry if that happens. It's an easy fix for us. We'll see it.
So some of those I'm working on now, trying to match up all your names.
Is everyone okay so far? Does anyone need a hand, help?
Still working on logging in. Perfect.
Oh, okay. So add your name, last name, phone number. So it'll be. You'll put your password, the password you want.
If you have an email address registered with us that you get normal emails from, use that email address when you first register. It'll make things a little bit easier. You can change it later if you need to.
And some of them too, I'll have to go into and manually do a few things. So if you're not getting in right away right now, that is why that is. Right.
Yeah.
If you want to go to the next slide though. So once you're in, you should see a very similar homepage to what you first had, but it'll look a little bit different because now you're actually into our specific Church Connect. And if you see the little 3 lines on the side, called the hamburger menu, funny, but if you want to click on that, it'll pop up with all of our drop downs of what you can access through Church Connect. But we're going to focus today on that online giving on the side. So if you want to click on that, then Doug will help us with the rest of online giving.
Okay, go to the next slide real quick because I think I went through some of the same things. So you're going to see my slides are a little bit smaller. But on the left-hand side, it's the same thing on Church Connect. You're going to see the 3 tabs you're going to hit, and it's going to have a drop-down, and you're going to hit on the online giving. Okay, so that's the same. Let's move to the next one real quick. Okay, and this is where you're going to be at your online giving page, and I'm going to pull it up on my phone just so that it's easier for me to see the exact same thing that you're seeing. And across the top, you're going to see there's 3 blue colored boxes. One says credit, one says ACH, and one says SMS. Our ability for our online giving now allows us to do debit cards, or allows us to do your straight from your checking or savings account or wherever you want it to come from, but it also allows for text giving. So that's something new to us that we have not had in the past. Under that, then you're going to see there is a white, that's a white drop-down box of some of those. The first thing I'm going to focus on, though, is the middle tab. If you click on the middle blue that says ACH, you'll see that will change to a dark blue. And then under that is where it'll say general offerings. You'll see missions. If you hit the drop-down, it'll say general offerings, missions, love offerings, student ministry. You would select what you want to give to. If it's a general offering, you'd select that. And then under there is a dollar amount. You can enter your dollar amount there. The other thing you can do, and before I go on to the add another, is you'll also see then below that, you'll see 4 blue boxes. It says once, weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. This is where you can have it auto done. So it's going to do it automatically for you, whether you choose to have it done weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or whatever you want. And so you can manage it through that way. And by clicking on that, and then there's also under a little blue line under there, if you see it a little bit further down, it says manage bank account and reoccurring ACH. Also between there will say, by clicking below, I authorize Heritage Baptist Church to electronically debit my bank account for the above amount for these different periods, and you'd have to submit that. But anyhow, so you put your dollar amount under the general offerings. When you do that, you'll also see that there is add another. Now, the purpose for that is so that we have multiple people that they might be given for their tithe. They also want to give for missions, or they want to give for some other things. You would hit that plus sign, add another. That would give you another box with another drop down, and then you could do your missions or whatever it is there. So instead of doing multiple deposits, you're doing it all in one. And so, and you can do as many ads as you want. If you have 3 or 4 different things you're doing it for, then you can do it for 3 or 4 different things. You could do. There are times where there might be an other, and so this is where we're going to have to create some more boxes, because there are times where there may be other that you would be giving to, and then in the memo you would put what that other is. So by doing, and then you would submit, and that would say that it would go through and it would ask if that's, if you want to do that. And then I think it also gives you a box where you have to say, and I got to look, see on the bottom left, it gives you a box that you're going to okay doing that giving. And so then there's a verification on that, so that you know that took place. That's for ACH. And I will mention that as we go through this, from a preference standpoint, I mean, it doesn't matter to me how you want to give, but by giving through ACH, that's a cheaper way of giving. So I will say that, because anytime you use a credit card, it's all standard across the board, is around, they're going to take around 2.9%. But there is something to that I'm going to add to that here in a little bit, because we're going to do credit next. So if we can go to the next slide. So this slide is basically the same as the last slide, except for you would hit on credit. So when you hit on credit, then you're going to go through the same things. You would be putting your put the amount in. You could add more accounts that you want to give to. You can also do reoccurring credit debit cards, the same as the ACH, and whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, you would hit, and I'm going to do my phone just so I'm watching the same thing. I'm going to go to next. So then what's going to happen though is once you try to use a credit card, you're going to have to set it up. So you're going to have to add your credit card information, and it's the same as you would do for any other banking stuff. And then they will do and I think through the ACH they do some of the same things as you see with the other banks, where they do these small deposits. So they're going to say, we're going to do 2 small deposits. When you see those, come back, put those deposits in, and then you will be set up for that account. But so like you can add your credit card in and it will save your credit card there. If you're not comfortable with doing that, then don't do that. Some people are, some people aren't. And then you can choose to charge, and then it'll say charge your credit card to whatever that amount is. Here's what's going to happen after that. After you do that, it's also going to give you an option afterwards to say that whatever the fee is, that percentage fee, that you can add that to your giving so that the fee, so we would get whatever the amount is you want to give, and then you would pay the fee. Again, however you want to do it, that doesn't matter to me. I just want you to know that there is you'll see an option to do that. So I was the guinea pig when we started doing this, and I did it both ways. So I gave and paid the fee, and then I gave once and didn't pay the fee so that I could see what that looked like. And it was, they worked fine. It just meant that my giving on the one where I paid the fee was the full amount. The one where I didn't was less by, and I think I have a slide too, I think it's 2.8 or 2.9%. Does everyone understand so far where we're at? Okay. Then there's just one last one. If we go to the next one, this is the, let me get back to my page here. This is the SMS. So this is where you can text it, and it will, and I tried one of these too. I did one of these givings and it worked. So you go to SMS, and then it gives you, it's going to say you're all, well, I'm sure there's a setup on this that you have to do. Unfortunately, I went through and you would hit that, and there's going to be, does anyone have that up so I can see what their phone looks like? What does it look like, Elena? Because I know it's different.
Yeah, it tells you that once you'll have to put in your credit card information in the next step.
Yeah. So you'll go through that, but what'll happen is it has a phone number that it uses that you're going to hit, yep, I want to give. So like, and then it's just going to go through texts. Now one of the things on here is you can also add memos in, and it talks about how to add memos in and things like that. But again, this is a setup that you're going to have to do. So like mine shows that I already have my phone number assigned on here, and I have my credit card set up on here, and it shows that. And then you go through the process of giving. So it all works. It all goes into our accounts. This also has a fee that's attached to it. Because again, it's on your credit card, so it's the same thing at oh, thanks for putting that up. So at I think 2.8 or 9. Can we go to the next slide? Because I think I have that listed on here. Some of the, oh, yes, I did want to mention this. Here's what's nice about this. all your giving history is going to be online now. So if you hit the 3 tabs on the side, it's going to show where you did to go to online giving. It says My Giving History. When you click that, it'll give you dates that you can search from. And what's nice about that is sometimes you know, what did I give, or did it go through, or anything like that? It's going to give you all of your giving history. The other nice thing, end of the year, you'll have your giving history, and you can print that right off. And so that will help also from, as far as, us trying to manage everyone's, giving records and everything else. Obviously, we still manage those, but it allows you to have access to them. So you'll know exactly what you gave over the year. So I do like that part of it. Also, just for general knowledge, when you use ACH, that can be delayed coming into our account. And again, not that it's a big deal, but can be delayed coming into our account up to like 5 days, just so everyone knows. Next one after giving history. Oh, was it? Oh, okay, yeah. See, and I showed on the bottom here, I showed that. Matter of fact, that $5 I think was the text one that I did. So that just I showed that so it would show what a giving history record kind of would look like. And then I do, thank you. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is the online giving doesn't mean we're not using envelopes. We're still using envelopes. But the other thing we wanted to mention as it comes to envelopes, though, is that with going to Churchtrac, that changes our numbering, so to speak. And I know, everyone, a lot of people who give with envelopes is like, well, I have a number whatever. Like, I think mine's number 157. And I understand you may have had it for 20 years. Understand, though, that number means nothing. What really matters is your name. So like when we receive a check in no envelope, they still get credit because it's all based on your name. So in the future, especially next year, now we already have envelopes out now, but I want to make sure everyone understands this, and we'll have to put this out to everyone. When you're filling it out, don't just rely on that number. If you would start putting your name on it, that's how we're going to track envelopes going forward. Because here's the thing, when we purchase envelopes, we don't purchase envelopes purposely for you and your number. We purchase envelopes in a series of numbers, 1 through 250 or whatever the number is, and then we just give you that number year after year, and then we reassign. With this software, we're not going to go through and start reassigning all the time. It's basically every individual will be, through the software, assigned a number, and that will be their church membership number. So from a giving envelope standpoint, if you put your name on it, that would greatly help. For those that don't remember, and as we get them and we're back counting, any checks that come in an envelope, then a lot of times you don't realize this, but we write your name on the envelope. If you don't, if you miss the amount, we write the amount on the envelope. So we write the correct dates and stuff. So we're already doing some of that, but it just makes it easier for everyone involved if you do that. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that we need? Anything you can think of, Eric? No. Okay. Okay. Anyone have any questions real quick that we don't have a lot of people, but if you have a question, I can answer it. Mike does. Yeah, for anyone that's struggling with it over the course of the next few weeks or whatever, certainly find one of us. We'll help you. Have your phone with you or whatever. We'll help you get connected.
Did we mention that if they do this, they need to undo the other one for a while?
Oh, thank you. That was on my mind. Yes, thank you. So anyone that does online giving right now that has reoccurring just so you know, we're running both right now. So Mercantile Bank handles our online giving, and then we have this. So right now, we're running both online givings. If you go to HBCKentwood.org, which is our website, and you go to Give, which is where you originally went to do your setup for your online giving, you'll see there's two buttons there now. One that says, as of January 1, 2022, and another one below it. That button that's below it is the button you'll need to hit to go on and to manage that giving. Because what you want to do is you want to back out of that and say you don't want to do it that way anymore. Otherwise, you're going to see double amounts coming out. And last I checked, we weren't doing double tithe week. So
We would appreciate it, but
yeah, we're not against it, but we are not. But that's not where we're at. Matter of fact, we're so blessed right now with the giving that it's just we don't even know how to discuss. When we're in our meetings, we're like, look at it, we can't believe this. So, but yeah. So, and again, if you're having struggles with any of those things, find myself, find Rick, find Eric Butler, find Adriana. I'm trying to think who else is.
Did you use the mic so that the online people can hear you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were doing this online. They missed a lot then. And I'm not on because I turned it off. Oh, I'm on now. Did they hear anything I said? Bits and pieces. Okay. Well, I'm not going to repeat it all. But if there's any questions that anyone has, I will say this. Any questions? Come see myself. Come see Rick. Come see Eric Butler. Come see Adriana. Or even if you catch one of the deacons, they might be able to help you. I'm going to guess Mike could probably help you if you have any questions. He's pretty good at this stuff. But other than that, unless someone has questions, I think that takes care of it.
I would just recommend that as you log in and you see it the first time, you're going to see a lot of additional feature and functionality. Like Doug mentioned, we're slowly rolling this out. So feel free to take a look and see what's there. But also, please verify all of your online information. Make sure that what we've captured is correct. And if not, there's an option in there to correct it, and/or Adriana can also help you correct it.
Also, I do want to mention this because this will come up. We do take your giving seriously, and so we have controls in place to who sees anything about anyone's giving, just so everyone's clear on that. Matter of fact, the pastor has no administrative rights that I know of right now to anything. We've pared Dennis down to next to nothing. I mean, we're trying to keep it really tight on who has any management to eventually, basically, it's going to be the church secretary. But right now, because of rollout, we got a few people working on it. But that also goes for your information from your profile. You have access on the profile to manage what information is seen. And so go through and look at some of those settings and manage it how you want it managed. If you don't want any information seen, then manage that. If you don't care, then you can leave it. But just so everyone knows, there's a lot of flexibility in how much you allow people to see. Did I catch it?
Yep.
I think that's it.
all right, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dennis, where would you like the mic?